Hey guys, alright, so I was asked to do a video on how I split my dahlia tubers. Like I said earlier, I do wait until the spring to split my dahlias because I think the eyes are a little bit easier to see, as well as my fall wedding season is always pretty busy, so just getting these dug up and stored away is about all I have time for in the fall, since I am just a one-person operation. So when I pull the tubers out of the bag, they kind of look like this. They still have a decent amount of dirt stuck down in them. So I get them as clean as possible, shake off all of the dirt. So you do want to be doing this either outside or I'm in the garage. So this one I've actually cleaned off, gotten it all of the loose dirt off as much as I can. It's pretty obvious on some of these, they've started to grow. So once these get planted, these will be plants. But some of the smaller eyes that are a little less obvious, let's see, can you see that? Are right down, where'd it go? Right down in here. You can see that little white head starting to pop out. Like on this one, sometimes they're even smaller. Like right in here, they just look like almost like little zits. And those will turn into something larger and eventually into a plant that blooms. So what your goal is to split these up and get as many of those onto separate dahlia tubers. Tools you'll need, I like to work on a cutting board. Just a wooden cutting board is fine. I use an old bread knife, something that's serrated, that is fairly sharp, and can easily cut. Then I also have my little garden snips. So you have different sized cutting tools. I like to cut off the top, anything that seems dry and just old. Tubers often can rot if you get a lot of rain, and so you want to cut off anything that could potentially lead to your tuber rotting, like old plant material. Anything that's just super dry. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down the center. So you split it into two. And just keep it looking for the eyes. So like we've got some down in there. We've got that one. So those look like my major ones. There's one there as well, if you can see it. So I'm going to cut, sometimes I trim off these little side ones because they tend to encourage rot. Gonna go ahead, cut this. Gonna cut that off. Clean that up. Okay, so there's one. This one's quite obvious. So there's two. Cut off that dry stuff. Keep going. We've got this one. Sometimes things just want to rip off, and that's fine. Go ahead and cut that off. Ideally, I like to get them relatively small so that they're easy to plant, because I do already have my weed barrier down, and the holes in the weed barrier are probably about 4x4 squares. So something that's easy to dig down and bury. I'm gonna cut off these dry stems. I'm gonna go ahead and leave all of that together. So that's 2, 3. Just make sure anything you're tossing out doesn't have the eyes around the top. Sometimes you feel like you're playing like Operation or something, dissecting a plant. I'm gonna cut that guy off. There's another one. Any of these little small dried roots, I go ahead and just rip them off. Okay. And then that guy's got one. I'm gonna leave that. Just make sure all of these don't have any eyes. And I will throw all of my scraps into the compost pile. So that one, I believe, has one. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Doesn't want to focus. Right there, I think there is one. There we go. You can just see it's itty bitty. So I'm gonna leave that as one. So just off of that one tuber like this, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 new plants. So I always say my dahlia purchases are almost more of an investment than anything. Thanks.